Scouting programs have changed over the years, but there's still a way for kids to branch out and explore possibilities. That's being updated by the Girl Scouts of Eastern Massachusetts with 28 new merit badges connected with math and nature, entrepreneurship, and digital leadership. To tell us about the programs is the organization's CEO, Barb Fortier. Thank you very much for being with us, Barb.
My pleasure.
Barb, how do you think up these new badges?
Well, actually, our national organization, the Girl Scouts of the United States of America, has a research arm, and they're constantly doing research to figure out what programmatic changes we need to make to keep up with girls and be contemporary. So they periodically, probably once a year, release major badges into the network, and then we can use those to accelerate and enhance our programming.
One thing I'm tempted to think here is that there's a bit of an overlap between the focus in these new badges and the whole pivot during the pandemic for the Girl Scouts. Is there maybe some connection?
Oh, definitely. We discovered, and we were able to pivot within 4 days of the shutdown on March 17th in 2020 to moving as much of our portfolio of program online. And that was good. That was exciting at first, but we discovered that girls are much more savvy in the digital space than we give them credit for. So we have adopted and adapted a lot of our online programming to meet some of their level of sophistication, to be honest.
Well, scouting has always been about some kind of leadership development. So what you have badges in digital leadership. So what's that supposed to reflect?
Well, it's obviously it's not new to Girl Scouting, but over the last couple of years, we've pivoted more toward digital programming because that's the space that girls live in these days. So the digital, the other thing about the digital badges is we're also now covering internet safety and teaching girls about when to identify misinformation or clickbait or other biases in advertising, just to make them smart consumers of the digital platforms that they conduct a lot of their interactions with friends and family, etc.
I think for all kids, the digital sphere has become the new space for conversation. But on the other hand, what about the potential for developing skills in digital formats, maybe for storytelling? Could that be the case too?
Oh, sure. There's many benefits to digital online programming. The girls can do it at their own pace. They can pick and choose the things of the digital environment that appeal to them. And we're not 100% digital. So some of our programs are being conducted or being augmented with hands-on activities. For instance, last summer, we couldn't do summer camp as we normally like to do it. So we did a virtual experience, but also shipped out program in a box to the girls so that in addition to the digital experience, particularly for the younger girls, the digital experience, they had an activity that matched that.
Well, I want to turn to the other category of badges here, math in nature. In my generation, boys were considered superior. I'm not so sure. I think the tests were rigged maybe. But if you want to engage girls in math, how does nature help with them?
Well, believe it or not, math plays a huge role in nature. They discover shapes and patterns in natural objects. They learn about symmetry and tessellation. Tessellation is sort of like a tiling impact, and mastering time and measurement theories. And bottom line, anything that we can do that puts a girl outside is always an advantage. And to be honest, we know that girls receive messaging in many different ways that STEM isn't for them. But we're marrying STEM studies with nature because girls love to be outdoors. And when you link education to something that girls already enjoy, it's more impactful.
Well, it doesn't take a big leap of imagination to go from some of those patterns you describe in nature to, fabric, fashion design.
Right.
Is that part of the intent here too?
Well, that can certainly inspire a girl if she already has an inclination toward design and other things. So there, most of the STEM offerings have some interconnection with one another. So typically you'll see a girl who, once that is ignited in her, then she looks for many ways to discover and learn to adopt more of that into her repertoire.
Well, you have another category here, entrepreneurship. Of course, that has something to do maybe with Girl Scout cookies. Now, that sounds really formulaic, but on the other hand, tell me about some of the less formulaic possibilities.
Well, the Girl Scout cookie program is iconic. There aren't many people who don't know about the Girl Scout cookie program, but what people become to understand is all of the just natural skills, communication skills, team building, money management, business skills, goal setting. Those are all an integral part of the cookie program. And now that the cookie program, and I will share with you that the cookie program, the digital aspect of the cookie program, played a major role this past year when we conducted our sale, because we couldn't do the normal in-person, as much of the normal in-person sales. So again, if a girl is learning about the digital badges, that parlays itself into other places, and the cookie sale is an example.
Well, I grew up with, cookie marketing is somebody who would come to your door in a Girl Scout suit, and you're feeling hungry, so you buy some cookies. But on the other hand, today, I'm looking at what's going on with some of these Girl Scout troops, selling cookies as a way to engage with the community or even promote some kind of social change. What about those potentials?
That's huge. I mean, a lot of the girls who learn entrepreneurial skills in the cookie program go on to earn all of the highest awards in Girl Scouting, so the bronze, silver, and gold award. And when you talk to them post the achievement of those, they say that the cookie sale and everything that they learned from an entrepreneurial standpoint really fueled them, and it helped them in their gold award, because they often picked gold award projects that would initiate some major change, either in their community, in their school.
What about now when so many kids still have limited in-person contact? How much does this lift their spirits being involved with a Girl Scout troop?
Well, there's magic. The other magic that we don't talk about in Girl Scouting is the friendships and the support that girls get from one another. It is a all-girls self-led program, and that's important. Girls take ownership over the course of their experience in Girl Scouting. And I've often heard adults talk about the friendship aspect of their Girl Scout experience, as well as the influence and impact that all of the skills that they learned associated with not just the cookie program, but when they went to camp for the first time, etc. They always talk very significantly about how that influenced who and what they are doing in their adult life.
Well, one other way Girl Scouts have to keep up is, as the population changes, you have to find new ways to be inclusive. What could that mean for kids growing up in Boston?
Well, we actually have a staff group called the Community Engagement Staff, and they are solely focused on Boston area communities to try to instill opportunities or create opportunities for girls to have the Girl Scout experience.
And of course, coming up not too far into the future, you've got some recruitment, some opportunities for people to join. What's the best way for them to follow up in that?
Well, we share with people our website, www.gsema.org. There's tons of information on our website about girl membership, but we literally have, and it's happening now, our kickoff for the year doesn't start till October 1, but we have our recruitment staff out now working with community partners, places that we've had, some of the example of places that we've developed partnerships with the Boys and Girls Club of Dorchester, the Boston Center for Youth and Families, various Beacon properties, as well as various schools. So we already have staff that are out promoting the message and conducting what are called recruitment events. And right now, those events, because of the weather, well, maybe not today's weather, but because of it's summer, we're doing a lot of them outdoors. So we're not really treading on any COVID restrictions at that point. So.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to join us.
My pleasure.
That was Barb Fortier from Girl Scouts of Eastern Massachusetts. We'll have more news in just a moment.